Continue.
So, Demetrius, I wanted to ask you something. Speaking a little bit about the ATRs, do you in the Slavic traditions now the ATR, some ATRs and some Asian traditions are the same way in the fact of deified dead and adepts having the potential to become deified. If you look into the traditions of Kimbanda, a lot of the SUs or XUs are priests and deified dead, and they are people that practiced the craft in their life and they became elevated and they became deified and they live on in the current as a deity, as a SU. The Asian people have the same thing where the body is the temple and the deity will literally manifest in the child and they will put the child in the temple, lock him away from the world, and effectively worship the child as the deity. Do you have anything like that in the Slavic traditions?
Wait, before you
So
answer that,
here,
I just have to say one thing about what you're saying, like that certain gods can't help you if another current was something. Because I have been cursed. Like this is one thing with Vudon, and I actually felt it. And I felt pins on my fucking goddamn legs. Okay. And I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Right? And I never worked with any of those gods and I didn't know what to do. And I called out to Lilith and she gave me instructions and I did it and it worked. So I don't know if that's going to be 100% true that these gods
Yeah,
don't know how to help
heal.
you from your turns.
It
They
can
have
heal currents for sure, especially if it's a powerful deity like Lilith or Hecate or Belial or Lucifer.
hey,
um,
yeah. So I'm confused on what you're trying to say. Like, is that what you're trying to say?
I think he's talking about pacts. If you made a pact
Oh,
in a
okay.
specific,
Okay, but like but why couldn't they have a council? Hey gods, can you
but
guys have
but
all my other gods up? You know, get the prime ministers involved here. Let's see what's up here. Because it is a lot of shit like that. I don't know.
I don't see it.
so can I like first
Tell-
I'll answer to Eldoria's like can I answer first to Eldoria's like
Mhm.
question and then I'll answer Joseph's question. So Eldoria, your question is pretty good. So so here is the thing. Regarding this problem, I had it's not recent problem. It's something which happened year and a half ago, 2 years ago. This that life or that situation. So to be clear, what happened was like guy cursed me first time, and then I used the demons to deflect the curse, right, to destroy the
Mhm.
manifestation. But then what he did is he literally bound me to the life of one of the chief spirits of Balkan tradition, right? So imagine somebody in demon magic binding in a baneful manner some motherfucker to the essence of Satan, for example. So what he does is so what he does is it dedicates the enemy as sacrifice 24/7 to the certain spirit, right? So in order to defend from that, I kind of needed to call spirits from that tradition who kind of explain to me what happened and how it can be negated. Uh, so this is a really complex thing.
Mhm.
Regarding you, Joseph, your question, are there kind of ascended masters in Slavic tradition?
Deified.
Yes and no. Yes and no. It kind of works different over here. So majority of witches, when they die, they become the Fae. I told you that previously. Some of them don't become the Fae. Some of them become like elevated ancestors, and one part of them becomes like dishonored dead or dark dead. But majority of those who matter, like you actually want to summon, who are the most powerful, they either become really elevated ancestors or they become the Fae themselves.
Okay.
So it's like really, really interesting concept. But that's what I found out in literature and in my personal practice.
Well, I just really find it fascinating of tales of humans who walked in the flesh and potentially became deified or elevated to the status of king of hell. Like we were speaking about this before on a different podcast, Demetrius, and you had talked about the story of Balaam, King Balaam, from the Goetia, and he was actually a human being. He was a priest, and there's a couple biblical stories. He actually tricked the Israelites to descend into the clip-off and curse themselves. They descended into the clip-off and they began to worship Beelzebub, and they essentially cursed themselves. Demetrius knows the whole story, and it's a fascinating story. But there are a ton of stories like that. Just like supposedly the archangel Sandalphon was Elijah when he was on Earth.
And Nama was apparently Noah's
No
wife.
wife, yeah.
Metaphysical, or what's his name?
Who?
Methuselah.
Mhm.
Methuselah. Yeah.
Yeah, Methuselah. Okay. Well, it sounds. I'm just happy that you're doing well, and it just proves to yourself that you can get your shit back together. Like, that's the one thing about being magicians. Like, we fuck up. We fuck up. That's part of the path. You can't just stay. Like, you have to fuck up. You have to do shit to find out other things. So, I mean, you say you lost a lot of stuff in your life. Oh, you lost a lot of shit, but you got it back.
Yeah, you can't become attached to anything. It seems like in this realm, because once you become attached, then problems ensue, and then you're just asking for pain. This path is not static; it's completely dynamic, and it's always evolving. It's always growing, and there's cycles to everything. And yeah, as far as your recent growth and transition, I would perceive it as an elevation, and we'll all stay tuned for the next thing that happens for you.
Is there anything else you want to talk about, Demetrius? I know it's late for you.
So since since what you think about guys? So essentially, so I wanted to talk with you guys for the rest of this podcast about two different approaches to Belial. So if you work with Belial through the left-sided names of God, he will respect you more. He will manifest more, but it will be more difficult to work with him.
Now,
because once you
Eldoria's got to mind her time because she has a prior engagement.
We still have 20 minutes. We're good.
Okay, cool. All right, sorry to interrupt, Demetrius. Alternate ways of working with Belial, you were saying.
So technically, if you use the left-sided names, you are not offending him, but you are essentially working with him on equal footing, right? And he kind of dislikes you being 100% equal with him because it kind of makes him accountable, right? So all of those spirits, they sometimes make more chaos in your life than they need. They like thrive on that chaos and on that surprise in the life of their devotees. That's their expression. But when you work with them through the left-sided names, you call them accountable for everything by definition. And it makes them uncomfortable. So it's kind of difficult to work with them that way. But results are more powerful. The truth comes quicker and they are forbidden from concealing the information. However, when you work with them without those names, so you simply give them offerings, you simply give them respect and everything, then they essentially treat you better. There is a little bit more chaos in your life, but you can always count on their protection. You can always count on them jumping in and solving the situation. But here is the thing, those two approaches are not necessarily compatible. Because if you work with the left-sided names, then what happens is you essentially see them simply as expressions of the left side of creator, and then you worship only the creator. However, if you don't use the names, you essentially worship them through giving them offerings and sacrifices and
I get it.
yeah, and idols. So I kind of wanted to talk to you guys, since Joseph and you, to an extent, one of the reasons why your working with Lilith was so powerful and intense is because I purposefully put the names in it and took out all of the idols and stuff. So you kind of approached her on equal footing. So she gave you an equal treatment. She put you into a situation where you were forced to choose, and then you got fucked. But when I did it, I was also put in a situation in which I was forced to choose, and I also got fucked. So what I am saying is, what do you think? Which approach is better? What should we do, guys? You know.
Okay, so I
Great.
my viewers are probably like, what the fuck are they talking about? So I did you guys, if you look on my I guess it's been the last couple months, me and Demetrius have been doing evocations. We've made those I call to Lilith on the left side of Sheena. Those are very, very powerful.
What's the Kravana?
Calling Lilith on the left side. I didn't really know what I was doing at the moment of that, right? And yes, I was getting contact with Lilith. I was feeling Lilith on such a grander scale of any time that I have worked with her before. And it's something that I really wanted, because I've seen Demetrius's work and I really respect him, and I knew he had some power behind him, and I wanted to learn. I'm always ready to learn new things. So yeah, me and him were working together, and I was calling Lilith, and I was doing my invocations with her, and I was getting these dreams. And then something came into my life that I did see the red flags, but I ignored them. I ignored them, just put them aside, and it turned out bad. But and he had the same type of situation, but his situation lasted a little bit longer. Mine was okay. I see what it is. Fine. I got pissed at Lilith. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm not fucking pissed at you guys. Pissed at all my spirits right now. I don't want to talk to any of you. I went on a.
You made a bad decision.
I didn't feel the current. Demetrius is like, so are you still working with Lilith? I'm like, nope. Don't feel it. Don't feel her. It's gone right now. But I know why it happened, and I found out more information about this person, and there is a lot more deeper levels of why this person was brought to me. And I did curse that motherfucker, and I did do some shit, and but it's weird because me and Demetrius weren't really talking at the same time, but he was going through his shit. I was still going through some shit, but we didn't really know, but we're still kind of going through the same type of shit. But I do. Lilith is not like some lovey-dovey goddess, guys. Don't call Lilith for love. Don't do it, because she's gonna bring you something you're gonna have to deal with. Fine, you want it? Here, take that. But you're gonna get lots of other stuff attached to that shit. Lilith and Nama and Igrat and just doing all of these crazy meditations did open up my astral senses a lot. I was seeing spirits more. I was hearing them. I was seeing shadows. I was seeing just a lot of shit. I do think that people should work with her in that way. You will get something, and if your life gets really fucking too hectic, just stop working with her for a little bit, deal with your life. I don't know. And then come back.
I would tell people to work with, if you're not used to working with infernal spirits, to work with them, periodically, and take breaks. Then take some time for introspection, and then go back to work. But I wanted to ask you guys a question that recently I found it very disturbing. A certain order of multiple angles had put out statements pertaining to our pagan gods and the deities in the Goetia. So essentially what they were saying is we refuse to, like, their spirit list doesn't consist of any of the spirits of the Goetia. They view the spirits of the Goetia as idiot demons of the Kali Yuga that represent materialism and just selfish, somewhat borderlining on atheistic, like Crowley said, like they're aspects of your mind, which is completely false. Like, I don't think any of these people that are making these statements have ever tried to summon up any of the spirits that are in the spirit list of the Goetia. Like, what do you guys think about that?
So I think I simply want to say that Lilith is not responsible for fuckery in my and Eldoria's life. Lilith opened opportunities, and me and my sister Eldoria fucked up in a really unique way. Because what Lilith kind of does is Lilith makes you into a magnet for stuff, and you attract a bunch of things, and then you choose the thing you wanna roll. You wanna rock and roll, and unfortunately, me and Eldoria at the same time we rocked and rolled the wrong option. So essentially, we got fucked through the circumstances of our own making. So I simply want to point out that spirits will open you multiple options, but unfortunately, if you press the wrong button, shit will blow up. So please be careful. And please, if you see any red flags anywhere, be careful. Don't
Listen, guys.
Don't be dumb.
Listen, getting fucked can be fun, but just don't cast your seed on rocky soil. So, but yeah, seriously, what do you think about certain sects of the Black Lodge thinking that the Goetic demons are idiot demons from the Kali Yuga and materialism?
They're just, I think anybody that says anything that without, and they're being arrogant and they don't really understand, and you could tell if people have worked with these entities or not, because they wouldn't be talking that shit. They're trying to make
offended.
Propaganda. They're just trying to make things look worse than they are. Just, you know how everything, even with this whole EA co-wedding thing, everything is just, everybody's trying to attack. They're making it into like, they're gonna try to make it into like more, I'm sure. I don't fucking care. I don't really care what they have to say, to be honest with you. I don't think they've ever worked with them. That's what it sounds like.
Agreed. As far as losing favor of the gods, I don't think that anything happens by accident, and it's really possible that each one of us periodically can lose the favor of the gods, and your life essentially turns to shit until you can either reconcile and repair the damage that you did, or complete the tasks that you've been assigned. So that's why I think certain things happen to practitioners. It's not like the enemy is actively seeking out to fuck us over. It's the gods. They are the puppet masters, and we are the marionettes in some ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to say my last word for this because I'm gonna go, guys. But
Wrap it up
I
now.
think, personally, this entire accusation against tectonic spirits, aka the demons, that they are somehow bound to matter and it's bad thing. Well, it's based on philosophical assumption that matter is bad thing. Matter is not bad thing. It is the humanity which has a shitty behavior in the material world, which makes the world not so good, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
You
technically, you cannot blame administrators of material realm for
Mm,
us being shitty in before mentioned realm, right?
fantastic.
It's our responsibility, not theirs.
Yep.
So if we understand that the curse of a human condition is unwillingness of humans to use their own spiritual and intellectual potential, what I always wanted to say and liked to say is stupidity is not lack of intelligence, it's refusal to use intelligence. So we refuse to use intelligence and then we blame somebody else for that refusal. And I think there is no justification for it. And that's not the fault of any spirits, that's fault of our refusal to use our own capabilities. And I will end it there.
One of the first things that Lucifer teaches is self-responsibility. So,
Yeah.
Demetrius, stick around for 2 seconds after we end this call. We have a special announcement that we'll give the audience perhaps during the next podcast. But yeah, I'll speak to you, Doria and Demetrius, so we could iron a couple things out. But to the audience, guys, thanks for having me again, and it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, guys, stay tuned. Me and Joseph have some announcements to make. Yep. No, we're not getting married.
Yeah.
No,
Mm,
no, we're just friends. Demetrius, thanks for coming and thanks for coming on and sharing everything. And you guys got to go check out his channel. Joseph is on his channel quite a lot, so there's lots. They talk about a lot of stuff. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna be playing with my finger things. You guys know what this is?
No.
What? It's you push it down.
we are
You just sit there and you talk and you put. It's people who have ADHD. It's really good for us. Fidgeters. Anyways, okay.
Sorry, I
So
can
that's
help.
for today. For bye.
Bye. So, Demetrius,